business where hobby meets hustle. Listen up.
Like, what if my grandma's listening?
Shouts out Corey and Tim. Man, who run this? Surely it's them.
Slab Business Live. We are here with CageLawyer, newly single. Actually, his old real. I was never
CageLawyer or Cage the Lawyer?
No, I didn't mean your marriage. I meant your Instagram podcasting life.
I know what you meant, but
And
I mean, I got to make sure that people listening know.
That's why I told him not to use that joke. See what I'm saying, Corey? You
See the
totally blew
DMs.
it.
Can I-
DMs I get? You tell people out there I'm single.
Can I use you right now to do a cease and desist on Tim being so angry? Like, he's just angry. He just
Yes.
here he goes. Ready?
Well, okay, because I went a little bit. So he was like, "Oh, should I say that?" And I was like, "No, dude. Say, welcome Cage, the guy that's had Tim on twice and
Why?
Corey on
I don't
nuts."
care about nuts, and I don't care about how many times you've been on. And that's only a way for you to shoehorn
Sounds
that
like you
in
do.
that you've been on his show twice. And look how that went. The guy's single now.
I mean, in my defense, Tim does
In
have
my
a point.
defense, I think Tim broke up your podcast.
Yeah. That, you know what? He's definitely one of the reasons. There are probably like 112 reasons. He's somewhere
69.
in the 90s.
Well, for us to be the dynamic duo, we had to get rid of the dynamic duo.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
we planted Tim in there.
There are a lot of dynamic duos in the hobby. Let's just say that. I mean, you got the crossover guys, right? You know, you have
Yeah,
called
I mean,
guys. That's
Chris
a dynamic duo.
Chris talks about Raptor 68, all the stats and all that, and Josh he's like a robot, so it works.
All right, let's get into it real quick, though.
I
Because
was going to give more dynamic duos.
What?
word on,
No,
word on the... no, let's go through it. What's up?
Some more
Who's better than me
dynamic-
and Corey?
You're-
Now I'm upset.
Well, we need
Go
like a
loud.
top 5 list, right?
Let's go top
My
five.
mic-
Let's
No,
go,
not yours,
Hold on, I can
Tim's.
turn it down for you.
no, Corey always wants to ruin it. Let's go top 5.
Top 5 hobby
okay.
duos. That's a
Top
good
5
one.
how we duos. I'm gonna go with. Let me do one. No, wait. This is us having you on. Go ahead. Top 5.
No, I mean we should go round robin and make sure, because this is now a podcast video clippable moment in the
Vlog.
comments. Let's hear yours. Let's hear your top 5. And who do we leave out? Who do we leave
Let's
out?
do
of
this.
the
Let's
top
do
5
6,
duos?
and we'll do a round robin draft. So you got to draft your
All
team.
right.
All right.
I mean, this is fantastic.
Let's
I mean,
go.
my first one was the crossover. Chris
Okay,
and
well,
Josh.
you're now canceled for, and Christina will do something pretty bad to you. So good luck with that.
This is true. This is true. It is
All
a
right, then
trio.
you're next.
All right, you're right. You're correct.
Oh, you want me to go next? I'm gonna go with Gio and Jesse. Sports car nonsense.
See, that's a good one. You're also canceled because Jesse is a duo himself. I'm a big guy. I'm allowed.
I don't think
I'm a big guy.
see,
I'm allowed.
I
think he's allowed.
I don't know that you are allowed, really. Like I don't. Yeah,
I love you, Jesse.
All right. Oh, God, are there any other duos? Right.
No, that's it. That's
Corey.
why I made it a top 5.
No, Corey. First of all, you did no research for this question, even though we just asked it live, and also,
Oh, that's real professional. Real.
Whoa! Hey now. Who's calling? You?
I mean,
that's it. Put him on. Put him on
I'm
speaker.
I'm going.
If the phone
with
rings
me
during
and
an
Tim.
episode, put it on speaker. All right. I mean, that's
That's
one of the biggest cop-outs I've
honestly,
ever seen in-
I think in the voting,
on a live show
my
ever.
team's gonna win. All right, so we'll go.
yeah, because
we'll
you're gonna
go-
delete. You're gonna
each
delete
person
comments.
gets to pick a duo, and then each person gets to pick an influencer.
This guy, you're making it so much
Why?
more complicated.
I mean, that's that's it's definitely cool. Yeah. So an influencer.
Well, all right, let's
Duo.
go.
Is it
let's
like
go
only
influencer.
podcast duos? Influencer. My favorite influencer by far is Jeff Wilson.
I mean,
No reaction from you guys. I get nothing. I get nothing. I just throw it out there. I just farted in church. Nobody says shit.
Before it, so I don't know. Like that's all I'm reacting. I'm just trying to figure out like where you're coming from.
No.
If you're doing the same thing you did to Jesse, and you're like, I'm an influencer, so I can make fun of other influencers.
Yes, I am. Jeff is twice the influencer that any other influencer is. Yes, I'm doing the exact same joke twice now. No,
Yeah.
no good. Ryan Card Collector 2 has to be on the top of everybody's influencer.
You can't double stamp a double stamp. What if I just wanted to use that one and you said it twice?
Well, that's it. There you go. Now I'm going
right.
to say all of them and make it harder for you.
I'm going with the Who's my favorite card? That's the thing, though. I don't know if I have a favorite influence. I'm on a card, though.
You're on a card. You have to pick yourself.
Oh, you know who I really like? You know who I really like is... actually, there's 3 that I really like, but I'm going to go with Tava cards. I like Tava.
Who?
You know Tava?
Tower? T-O-W-E-R. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
this
saying?
guy
You're saying
with an
tower?
accent, dude. It's insane.
I heard what he said. This is
Ask
called
him to say what he...
know.
Alcoholic drink versus giant fuzzy animal.
Go. Alcoholic drink versus giant fuzzy animal.
Having a bear with a bear.
Did you
I
hear
like
any
it.
difference?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't think you did.
Beer and bear. I did. No, I heard.
Having
I
a
heard
bear
the
with a
difference.
bear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The bear.
Hold on, what was,
This is-
what was that?
This is...
Little bear.
Yeah, this is...
Having a beer with a bear.
This is why we need Cage, the lawyer.
To
Okay,
translate. To
Go ahead,
translate.
Corey. Who's your
Co.
favorite? You keep changing the subject.
I'm going Coach Co. I like
Oh
his
my
comment.
God. You guys are weird.
You went
I mean,
Jeff Wilson.
we didn't say
You
best
went-
mustache.
You went chalk, dude.
Yes, because I wanted
But you're
to
not
hear
going to win.
your
All right, so here's our
reactions.
teams. I have
course I win.
me and Tim as hobby duo paired with Coach Co. Cage has Jeff Wilson and Matt Christina, Josh and Chris.
No, he has Jeff
Did you
Wilson.
see
and
what I just
Kyle-
did? I paired up.
Yeah,
Come on,
Yeah.
guys. I'm playing chess.
God, he
I'm
is
playing chess. So my team
Oh.
is
Dude,
going to be
he-
the most
did he
fun
think of
one to
that?
watch.
Your team is like having what was it like Ben Simmons, Embiid, and Harden all on the same team.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
pretty much.
And then mine is who was mine? Oh, sports card nonsense and
And
Nice.
the
Have
Tava.
Tava
All
cards.
right,
Have it,
put in the
Seven,
comments
seven,
who
no.
your squad is. What team you pick. If
Woo,
if
I
you
like
can
it.
find Tava
I like
cards,
it.
it's not spelled the way it sounds.
And then which one of the 3 of us has drafted the best basketball team?
Oh, definitely me.
I
I
don't
don't know if
know,
you've seen Gio.
I've seen Gio play.
No, you saw Tava play. Corey, he wasn't bad. Gio's good
Jesse?
at basketball, and Jesse's he's gonna stand there
Yeah.
and dominate.
I got me,
I got-
you, and Coach Co.
I mean,
Oh, I
I'm
forgot about
glad
that.
that you
Who's
just said
playing
you
chess
would
now?
lose.
Who's playing chess
Look at you,
now?
Mr. Best Basketball player
We're
in
gonna
the
have
hobby.
we're gonna have
You
Coach
just
Co.
lost.
We're gonna have Coach Co. Guard Cage so he can tickle the back of his neck.
I'm not on a
okay?
team. I got Jeff Wilson guarding Jesse. And I got the card ladder guys just balling out.
Yeah, they're actually good. No, that's Corey. I don't even know if Jeff Wilson plays ball, but the card
He's gonna
ladder
guard
team is-
Jesse.
like Josh was good.
Yeah, I heard Josh was.
Hose was
the best out of
good.
the bunch.
Yeah, but he went like 10 for 10, which is kind of like, can you
I
do it
mean, that's
again? But he
pretty
was,
good.
I think he was. No, but I'm saying, how often do you do that?
I mean, Corey,
Yeah,
he
I don't know like how
he
else
gets no
to-
credit. He
like-
gets no credit.
Oh yeah,
That's like a
let's
word.
assume that he goes 10 for 10 every. Let's assume he
Okay,
goes
let's
10 for
see
10 every
if he
game
does
instead of thinking
mildly less
realistically.
than 8 for
Oh,
10.
show my slabs. Kids.
Who cares? How do you spell that word?
Kids. I don't even know. I can't even spell anyways, man. You remember what I put on your what I put on your
Yes.
latest post? I spelled base wrong, Corey, and then I made sure to go Google it to spell it right because I couldn't edit. So now I look like a dumbass on Cage's post.
No, you clearly have the biggest brain in the hobby.
Dude, only
Otherwise,
people
what
that have like
explanation do we have for that
say
hat?
that to other people.
What? Clearly, you have the biggest brain in the hobby. Look at the dude's hat.
I mean,
All right, hold on. Why was it dented? Real stuff here, Cage. Let's get down to business. Obviously, there's too much joking around. This is a serious
Down to
podcast.
business.
You are. I heard through the great, and I'm actually dead serious right now when I say this right now. You are one of the most sought after personalities, and I don't care what your face says because I know this to be true. A little bit less than me, but one of the most sought after personalities in the hobby. So what did it like going solo? You're doing stuff with Sharon now, Black Jada Wolf. She's dope. She's awesome. You got Uncaged, and everyone, in my opinion, you've mentioned me twice now and Corey Nuntz on your
actually, he did.
1 minute
In his
breakdown of the
first-
hobby every
in
week.
his first solo hobby podcast, he mentioned me. So suck it. Cash
I
Mango
did.
for life.
You guys, listen. I love you both. You're both pretty. Now, can I go home? So here's the thing.
Oddly enough,
if I
you
really
are
have to
home
make a
in
mind.
the middle of a Wednesday, but
I am home, yeah, but it's a movie line, Megamind, a little cartoon I watched with my kids. So I'm enjoying it, man. I really am. It's funny. I have done 25 episodes now with no sponsor, and I was, for the first time during my 3 years in the hobby, called hobby elitist while
Nice.
I had no sponsor.
I don't know if that's true.
You can run down the list of sponsors that I've had. Some great, some not so great, but never was called any elitist or anything. So I kind of realized one fun thing about the hobby. I enjoy doing the content. I enjoy talking to people. I mean, I got to sit down with Dr. Beckett on his podcast recently. He's coming on mine. That's a conversation that 10-year-old me, wouldn't believe that I'm having, because I used to get that book every month. I had a subscription. That's a cool thing. I have many sponsors offering money. I'm going to be a little more judicious about how I go about picking what I do, where I do it. After 3 years, I've been lucky enough to build up a really loyal audience following, and I want to partner up with hobby folks who are going to take care of them, whether it's an NFT holder, we did that there, or just a listener, or someone who if I go on a live selling platform, someone who's going to come on there and watch that for content, but I can give them away something, someone who I know, you know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that I'm contemplating doing next. I got to tell you, I enjoy doing it solo.
I love it, dude. You spit.
Most of us do.
I feel
Most
like
of us
there's
do.
You're great at
That's
it.
a dirty joke.
You're great at the solo. Obviously, we're
Yeah,
not,
I
because I
appreciate
didn't hear
that.
what you said. But and I've honestly, just to be frank, once you went solo,
Hi, Frank.
yes. Hello, Frank, in the back.
Can you speak with Tim?
Once you went solo, I don't really miss much. Before, I was kind of like, it wasn't for me. Whatever it was, I don't know.
Before we dogpile,
No,
I will
there
say
isn't a
this.
dog
There are
pile.
things
It just
that I
didn't-
miss.
It was too much. It seemed like too much.
Yeah,
No. Whoa. Just to be I saw this live. I don't know, should we say his name? I like Andrew.
Yeah,
I've
me
never
too.
had a problem. So I never understood the whole, these hobby trolls or whatever, busting his balls. He told me a funny story one time when he told Jeff Wilson to fuck himself after he lost a basketball game.
Oh yeah.
So I really enjoy
That happened.
I definitely don't want it to be a pylon.
No, it has nothing to do with
I
him.
like
I
it.
mean, for me, he didn't come across as a hobby guy. You did, and that's probably self-admitted.
I'll take
right?
that.
I don't think
Yeah. I think he would admit that
it's
also.
there's no
trying to learn.
downside to that. It just wasn't for me. Where I'm finding myself watching your videos, just whether it's more hobby focused or just more less kind of oh, squirrel, let's go into this subject. I don't know. And I think you both could have led yourself to those places, right? It's tough to bounce back and forth.
So I'll tell you, I'm envious of the chemistry that you two guys have. That is something that I miss tremendously about the
Why would you say
the duo show. You know what I mean? The I come on, I have some things I want to talk about. Sometimes I go off on a little bit of a tangent, but here's my point. Like today's episode, I talked about why I'd be selling Jokic cards and how I'm not a buyer of him, and I did this whole intro about how winning 2 MVPs and putting up these points and all these rebounds, and Disney's going to make a movie and all these things, and isn't that great? Buy his stuff. No, I was actually talking about Giannis.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't joking. So you got to sell. So I'm telling people to sell. People get
You
mad
just
at me
tricked me
for it.
right now.
Exactly. So that's the thing, right? So I do that, but there is not the tennis match, the back and forth. I don't know what's going to get lobbed over the fence at me. When it's myself, all right, I know the pitching machine is coming at me at 80 miles an hour dead down the middle. It's not going to mix up a curve or a changeup in there that I gotta adjust mid thought process to hit. That back and forth is something I do miss. It's why I like having guests on. It's why I like having guest episodes, or I do a live, like Coffee with Cage. I try to do one every week on that, where people are asking questions live, in the chat.
I know you're a longtime collector, but how did this part of it start? Like were you just like in your closet talking to yourself, or was your wife like, dude, I don't want to hear it ananymore. Go online and talk to.
But yeah, believe it or not, yes, there is a lot of that. There is a lot of that. My wife, if she was here, she would tell you she was all on board with the podcast, and the direct quote was, "Better you talk to these people about it than me."
Yeah,
direct quote.
Because
Like that is not a lie. There's no not humor there. That's true.
At that brick wall, like having a conversation.
Like, can you believe? I'd be like, honey, where's the damn Beckett guy? Where is he this week? And it's just not as funny as putting it in the news and having people come up with a bounty to find the Beckett guy. No, so how it started is a quickie, right? I was in an Instagram group. I wasn't even on Instagram.
Well, I had to get in a group.
COVID. I had a Twitter page, CageLawyers. And I was grading with, the grading companies for many, many years. And, I started grading again pretty heavily in 2017, 2018. And I was grading a whole bunch of 2012 Prism cards. You can look at my Twitter page. I don't delete anything. It's all there. Pictures of me with Anderson Silva and stuff from the UFC days and that kind of stuff. It's all there. But I was contacted by Gary V. I don't know. Did I just say like Voldemort?
No,
is that like you can't say that?
Tim, you should see this video of Tim meet Gary V. It's the saddest thing you ever see. Oh, hello, Gary. I started a business. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's not how it went. The weird thing about Corey is he likes to pretend like I didn't kill it. My most watched video, I walked up to Gary and said, "Look, I just want you to know who." Right.
Anyway, so I'll try to make this a 30-second. He reached out to me, wanted to know about cards, the cards I was buying, wanted to buy cards. His office is not far from mine. I showed up. I sold him a lot of cards. There's a picture of him on his, Twitter and Instagram pages where he's going to the first national he went to, and he's holding up cards in the airport. It's a Derek Jeter Topps Gold PSA 10 and a Jim Brown Rookie PSA 8. I sold him those cards the day before he went to the national. So I was selling him some cards. He's like, look, I want to put you in a group. We started an Instagram.
Were you in like the one with Luber and all those guys?
Yeah, not Luber.
But like the back,
ours was similarly interesting when you hear the names of this, because there are fun little marionette strings everywhere, I guess, in the world. I joined Instagram that day, like when he's like, "You got to get on Instagram." I didn't have an Instagram account. I'm gonna be 47 years old this year, guys. I'm an old man. So I joined Instagram. Card Collector 2 was in it. The Slab Stocks guys were in it. Sasha T was in it. Mealy Pops is in it. All the Card Talk guys. Lou, Tyler, obviously, Card Collector 2 was in it. A couple more folks. And Andrew was in it because he was working for Gary at the time. And I used to go in my basement and take pictures of cards. Hey, I have these. Who wants them? Or I would tell stories about collecting in the 80s and 90s. And during COVID, a couple months in July, someone in the group, I forget who it was like, "Cage, you got the best stories. You should do a podcast." And I'm like, I would do it if somebody told me what a podcast was. Right. I don't know what the hell that is. And 3 people were like, "Oh, I'll do a podcast with you. I'll do a podcast with you." Andrew was the only one who the next day sent me a Zoom link. It was July 16th of 2020. We recorded 3 episodes that day and did an episode every day thereafter for almost 3 years.
Whose idea was
that?
That's
the whole, episode a day mine. It's part of the reason I think that it all crumbled. Although I could do 5 episodes a day if you let me.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt about that.
I think it's I thought it was.
This is my 3rd one today.
I thought it was great because it wasn't obviously I didn't listen to everyone, right? But it gave me like, oh yeah, I see the post. I'm going to listen to this one today or whatever. It gave you enough content for because I don't think anyone can listen to every podcast, especially one a day, right? But it gave someone time. Maybe they got off work and hopped on Instagram and saw it and whatever it was. But so no, I thought it was great.
When did you get to the point where? So, where did the name come from? And is that something that you're kind of away from because it was an odd name? And then where did you get to a point where, and if
everybody knows the name,
right,
though.
So, if you ever got to this point where you kind of stepped out of yourself and looked and you're like, I'm a podcaster? Like, people actually, people are paying me, or I don't know, me and Tim have these
2 good questions.
We find ourselves in rooms where we're like, dude, we're just 2 guys who started businesses. How do we get here?
Yeah. So two good questions. The first one, the name, it's a silly thing. Obviously, we had recorded a couple and didn't have a name, and we were like, hey, let's put some names like some sports guys. Let's try to come up with something that is more than just basketball and more than just baseball, and shows kind of like the whole deal. And we were like, hey, what kind of names could we use? And we were like, oh, what about Luca and what about Tiger Woods? And we had a bunch of different names. And my kids were listening to me, and they had just finished watching The Wizard of Oz, and they were singing Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my! And I'm like, oh, they're like, what about Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze? Oh my! And boom, that was it. And we put the little music in.
You dropped
the beginning,
the oh my,
which
though.
I believe. Yes. Well, I mean, it is what it is. We tried to drop all of it.
Doesn't want to get sued by Disney or Luca or Tiger or LeBron.
Well, yeah, you can't really monetize those names or any of that stuff there. We never really did. YouTube channel's never been monetized. Never made a penny off of YouTube. I mean, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and
is that because of
partly? So, I don't think there's much money to be made on YouTube anyway. It's pretty funny. I saw a video about that. This, the I forget his name, Frankie something or other. The dude walks around with like the padded ass. You've seen this guy. He's got,
yeah.
And he
Frankie.
did a video, Frankie. Yeah, he did a video where he's in a UFC cage and he gets punched in the face and gets knocked out. And the thing had 290 million views. It had more views as a YouTube short than the trailer for Avengers: Infinity War. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a legit. And he did a video. He's like, hey, you would think that would make you 300 million views, how much money I would make? And he showed the revenue. He made $1,900 on it.
Was it demonetized though for some reason?
No.
You don't get paid much on views. It's about the sponsorships.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just something we never did. Mostly, I mean, we try to keep everything as free as possible. We try to keep everything, no one's paying for anything. The YouTube stuff, I just never got into that. I never get into like, oh, we got to monetize it or we're gonna have commercials in there. That's a little annoying. I know when you watch YouTube and you got to click a commercial and that stuff. We just never did it. And yes, part of it, the lawyer in me was like, we have Luca's name and Tiger's name and LeBron's name and a song. I don't want anybody to be like, oh wow, you can't use that. It was just
Are you allowed to represent yourself?
But that's where the
in that
name
matter, or is that a conflict of interest?
Sure, only a fool represents himself though. The second part is also easy. Have I ever found myself a podcast? It's funny. My son just turned 10 this week. About a year into the podcast, he had an assignment in, I think it was third grade. End of third grade, beginning of fourth grade, where it was like, write a book about your parents. Like, what would you title it?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
And who is your daddy and what does he do? Take a toy back to the carpet. Well done. A little kindergarten cop. I like it. And he said, my dad is a podcaster. And I'm like, I spent a lot of money.
Law school, dude. I would be like, I'd sue him.
I've been practicing.
I would sue your kid.
But it's
for
funny
slander.
To think about that, right? Because it was a very grounding thing
true.
for me. What we're operating in here, and it's something I try not to lose focus of every once in a while. We're in a hobby. Sure, it's a business. Sure, there's money being made. Sure, there are funny hats that are on there. And sure, there are some cutthroat people out there who think you're making more money than you're making and want that imaginary money.
I know more about
they do.
that than
But at base, if you can remember what your 8-year-old self was about and that you're having fun spending time in this kid's hobby, collecting cards, potentially making money, it was an eye-opening thing that my son was like, he's a podcaster. Now, keep in mind, my son got to meet like Tyrese Maxey because of this. He wasn't meeting Tyrese Maxey because of me being a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like he squared up with Chuck Liddell.
But that's the cool thing about it, right? And I'm sure Tim, once he has kids, will kind of get this and probably feels it in different ways. But when you have like my son, same thing. He gets a pack of cards and he's like, Dad, we got to go live. And I'm like, what are you talking? Like, nobody can. And he's like, no, I want to show like all the people on Instagram, like his new toys. And I'm like, it's cool to be able to do that. And then like, there was some YouTuber that he watched all the time. And I was just able to contact somebody that I knew to like tell him to say what's up to him. And he thought it was like the craziest thing in the world. And it's really just, but me and Tim always talk about it, right? You miss every shot you don't take. And if you're scared to take a shot, you'll never make it. So, and also, we never look at people like up on this pedestal of where everybody, it's a hobby, just like you said. So if you treat everybody in it like equals, there is nobody bigger, like whether or not they're making more money than you or doing better than you, whatever, that's all aside. and people wonder how we get. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Wonder how we get into rooms and meetings and make connections because we don't change. Like it. We talked about this, me and Tim, a couple episodes ago. Like I'm 37, going on 38. I wasn't looking for friends. Like I was good. I had my friends, but you almost got like by coming back into the hobby and attending all the shows, you get like it's like you went on a website and checked every box of what you like, and all these people are stuffed into a room. Some of them smell and you stay away from them, but you know, for the most part, everyone's got a common interest, right?
Yes. Yeah, the growth of this whole thing, because you guys don't make money. You know, if we're all beating the hell out of each other, most people don't make money. Me making content, you know, I'd rather not pick a side. I'd rather not have to draw
It's
battles.
great
I'd
not
want
to
everybody
be.
to be
It's
succeeding.
so
right?
great, like how where me and Tim stand in the hobby, where we're just ever like, if somebody that has a problem with us, it's for something that is completely nothing to do with what we've done or did or ever will do. So, and we can always hang our heads on that. Tim sometimes, you know, means people to death, and that has to happen. But that's just the reality of like how we've kind of positioned ourselves. And fortunately, we've both come in and we're kind of the innovators in our space, so we didn't have to like to fight and claw and like fight for box prices and fight to be the biggest breaker and take your shirt off and yell and scream louder than the next guy or do whatever to kind of like set our place in the hobby. And now the podcast stuff is just fun, and like we notice that people are like ask us, you know, when was it coming back and stuff, and we're kind of both thought like, I mean, for me personally, I'm like, really, do people want to hear us? And it's like, I think of myself on YouTube just looking for content, like looking for something that interests me, and whether it's, you know, Barstool, Nelk, all these like bigger like, you know, things that aren't hobby related. I thought like there's still so much room for growth in this part of the hobby, like the content, you know, just having conversations, real conversations with you, whoever, and I think that's why you do so well at what you do, because you're good at interviewing, but you're also good at like giving your own perspective from obviously not what your son not
Old. You can
not
call
no
me.
not
I'm
what
old.
your son
You can call me
says, a
old.
well-educated lawyer. I'm not going to call you a podcaster. So there is a different side
No,
to
but
it.
I hear you. Listen, what I like to bring, especially now with the hobby with Cage, that's the new
Is your
show,
name Cage?
Nice and easy, right? You know. Yes.
That's pretty
Yes, legally.
What's your full legal name?
Cage Lawyer. The last name. Cage is my first name.
You know
Lawyer
that was
is-
part of the thing. Like I've seen that on like posts. So, I don't know even who said it. It wasn't Corey. Someone was like, "Ask him his real name."
Cage
And it's just like,
Lawyer.
do people really care? Because my name is
so your
not
first
Slab
name
Strong
is
Tim.
not-
It's actually just Tim.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, not
It's
unless
Cage. I mean,
you
that's my
handle
name. And,
legal name changes, then we might be able to work something in.
you know, I'm gonna break cards. I'm never a breaker, but I'm gonna do some breaking soon because Cage breaks.
Cage breaks.
is just too good. It's just too good.
Please
to
tell me
not
you got that
use.
name already, though. Even if it has to be underscore breaks, please go get that locked under because that's a
I
dope
mean,
name.
I don't have it, but I probably
I
should.
mean, you did
right?
get
you
Cage.
know, I mean,
You did get the at Gmail, so that was pretty impressive. If anybody wants to
I get
email
Cage
how much
Lawyer.
they
Well,
love
and it's funny. There was a Cage Lawyer already on Twitter. I was Cage Lawyers. There's somebody else who has the lawyer. It's pretty funny. It's very, very odd.
Have you ever had to use your
but-
legalese in the hobby?
Sure. I've gotten cease and desist letters.
For what?
You know, I for the content that's being put out. You guys, hopefully, you know, you don't toe the line too badly in what you say out here, and you won't get one of those.
Wait, can you text me what we shouldn't say?
No, can you actually
Can you
just
please
say
let
it?
me know what?
What,
Yeah,
I
could
would,
you-
what I would say to you guys is stick to your opinion to the best that you can, right? Keep it an opinion show. You know, you don't want to ever really be saying anything that is false, right? It's why you see a lot of content out there saying, hey, I'm just asking questions. Or, you know, a source told me this, a rumor that I heard is this. I'm just asking, but could this be this, this, and this? You know, I'm just asking questions here. Are boxes loaded? Are they loaded? You know, I mean, without saying a statement of, you know, XYZ fact. Because if it's a fact that can be proven false, and it's published.
Can you legally make a statement, a question with your eyebrows? Like, yeah,
Like The Rock?
like, did PWCC
Can you
really
smell
have to sell?
what Tim is doing? I mean, that's a question.
Shit,
That's not a
Damn
statement
it.
of fact. Did PWCC have to sell? It's perfectly fine. You know? But if you came on here and
Slab
said
Strong Tim's
Tim
card is
currently
stupid.
wearing girls' underpants. Like if you said that, Tim, as we speak right now, is wearing girls' underpants. Right? If you said that
Technically-
right now, that's a statement that can be proven false. If he stood up and showed you it's not,
But if he
currently
doesn't, that means it's probably true.
Actually, it's a yes and a no, and I'm suing both of you because I wear my drawers on the outside, so they're outside
All right,
pants.
okay,
That's it. I wear the same ones 4 days straight. I wear them
Tiger stripe.
front ways, backwards. Then I put them inside out, and then inside out backwards.
Yeah, but are we
4
talking?
days with the
Are
same
you a
pants.
boxer brief or boxer old school guy?
Oh, boxer
Then you
brief
must
all
have
day.
holes in them.
Boxer brief all day. Of course, there's a
Wait,
hole in the
what?
front. You need that.
Also, those aren't
You got-
tiger
you got-
stripes. Those aren't
you got-
tiger stripes in
yeah.
the underwear either, guys.
You got to get little cage out every once in a while. Of course, you need a hole in it.
At least, hey, real quick, because we went over a few things, and this will be cut, and all of Corey's 5-minute statement he just made will be cut later.
By the way, what you shouldn't cut is your face while he's talking.
I know, that's why I
Because
make them.
All he does
that
is
was the
fucking,
best part of the last
exactly.
40 minutes.
Literally, I don't know why. I
It
do
was
it.
amazing.
Because Corey, sometimes it's like,
Yeah, okay. And sometimes people ask you a question and you daze off and start talking about something else. But I don't make a big deal about it.
yeah. You don't? You don't? We've been talking to 44 minutes. Real quick, how did you link up with Black Jada Wolf, a.k.a. Sharon?
Oh, she's at a bunch of shows. She's all over the place. And, we had her on a couple times as a guest. She does great stuff. And we chatted about putting a show together that talks about shows.
Oh, like a coffee table.
It would be-
Coffee tables.
Yeah, pretty much. A little Seinfeld action, right? No one else does a show like that. We should probably do it more often. But it's a talk about how somebody preps for a show, what goes into a show, how each show is different prep-wise, then how was it at the show. The purpose of it, one, I'd love to get some shows to sponsor it. That would be fantastic. Talk about the show that's coming up, and here you go. That would be great, but it's currently not sponsored. But the better part is sometimes in our hobby, in our industry, in our business, what people see on Instagram is what they think is the entire universe of the hobby. And that's not the case, right? And a lot of people are 90% or 95% is what they see in their Instagram feed. Maybe they get out to a local Elks Lodge show or something small, you name it. But Sharon gets to tell them about the foot traffic at Dallas and the buying here and this show in the East Coast and this show at Burbank and this show here and there and how this was more robust and how there are more people coming in and actually spending money and how retail was there or how the repacks work and you name it. It just shows a different side of the hobby that there's not much content about. Show content for the most part is, people trying to convince you that they could pick up a penny outside while they're online and turn it into a $1,000 card somehow by the end of the show, which, is a little misleading and, we don't really need too much more content of like, look what I did
talked
at the
about
show.
that as far as it in regards to, again, Instagram reality or Instagram versus reality.
Somebody the other day told me I need to widen my circle of people I listen to because I said no one's calling out trimming. And he's part of the tinfoil hat, Dan the Man cards, right?
Dan
It's
the Card Man. I
Dan
like
the
that
Card
guy.
Man. So, I looked at his stuff, and maybe it's because his videos are 6 minutes, so they're better for this generation, whereas my YouTube videos are a half hour long each one because it's long form. But his videos, they get a couple thousand views. Even though I don't know, there are a couple of people who know him. He's part of the tinfoil hat brigade, but he's not a known commodity. I'll walk into a card show and people ask for my autograph, which is ridiculous.
Dude, so what did you say to that person that asked you for an autograph?
Sure, I'll sign whatever the hell you
You
want.
didn't say why?
No.
Why?
Listen, the hobby is an interesting place, right? And I it's happened a few times, right? But I will tell you, there are people who listen to my show with Andrew previously, every single day. I mean, I got people who, who listen to 100 episodes in a row, like binge watch, binge listen. There are people who will message me and say, hey, my brother listens all the time. He's a huge fan, laughs at you all the time. We talk about you at the dinner table. It's his birthday next week on Wednesday. Anyway, you could call. Here's his cell phone number.
On.
And I do. And I pick up the phone and I call the dude and I say, hey, it's Cage. Happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. I got, a listener who sent me a message about how he listens every day, watches the episodes every day, and his daughter thinks it's funny because, he'll put us, on in the background and run into his daughter will run and tell, his wife, Daddy's listening to his friends again. Daddy's listening to his friend on the radio or on YouTube and thinks it's funny that my friends. And I sent him a video, after he told me the story, so the video, hey, tell your daughter it's your friend.
Yeah,
I wanted to say happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. Because why not, dude? Seriously, why not?
There's no why not. I'm not why notting you. I'm why notting the person asking.
What difference does it make?
I don't know.
Yeah,
so let me ask you something, all right? You see Michael Jordan on the street. You ask him for his autograph? Why?
It doesn't. I would much rather, if anything, get a picture with him, but it would not autograph.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just not.
Gary V, if you're watching, this is the definition of you can't care what people think, Corey. All right? So I just want to throw that little tidbit out from Gary V.
No,
you don't care
again,
what people think. If you see Michael Jordan, you get his autograph.
Why?
Yeah, on a samurai sword, because you're not going to not get his signature, even if it's just on a samurai sword. No, but thank you. So here's the deal, right? So maybe you just don't like autographs. Maybe it's pictures, and there are people.
But even that, I don't think I would, because I don't know, man. There's
Why
few.
Not?
I don't idolize athletes.
Okay, who do you idolize?
When I get into it, it's gonna sound corny as shit, but
Jesus Christ.
my best friend that went to Iraq lost both his legs and gets up every day and goes around the country doing all time but I don't even idolize him. I just look up to him, literally, and that's who I want my son to look at and go, if you could be half the man he was. The sports guys, they were, yes, it took a lot of hard work, right? There is some merit to that, but hard work, is everybody should work hard.
Whoa. Okay.
We're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but go ahead, please.
So here's how I feel about this. When you're growing up, you learn you could do anything, right? You could be anyone. The problem is that as a metaphor, whatever you want to say, is great. The problem is not everyone can be a lawyer. Not everyone, right? Because then we wouldn't have service people. Not everyone can be a doctor. Not everyone can be in the pros. Not everyone can go to the military. Not everyone's built for it. There's something to be said for, LeBron gets crap, right? He's been the guy since he was 12. Everybody knew about him. LeBron grew up in a very bad, he could have easily went down a different path, but he didn't. So.
Could have been flashing guns on Instagram.
Yeah, could have flashed a gun on Instagram, all that. He didn't do any of that. He never actually done anything wrong, whatever. I just feel like it's okay to, especially a kid, Corey. A kid's gonna see this big hat. They see the chain. They've seen me on Instagram, or they've seen Cage. Where they see you.
I don't have a problem with kids.
Tops. Are you kidding me?
I have a problem with a grown-ass man who's stopping his wife to come up and ask you for a picture. Why? Exactly why?
No, but why do you have a problem with it?
Because I got to hear about it from this asshole who's just blah blah blah. Somebody came up and did they know how to card?
You were there. You saw it happen.
Yeah.
I didn't have to tell you about that one.
So there are interesting levels to it, right? I mean, I asked Michael Jordan because that's obviously the top of the charts, right? And you mentioned Gary V, and people love these guys. They spend time listening to them. They spend time watching them. They idolize them. They're their heroes. And, it levels down. I'm going to go... Tim, he's probably not shopping at the local food store with this Slab Strong hat on. But even if he was, he could walk into the frozen food aisle.
No, he would expect
someone might call the police on him and get him, No, but he most likely, someone's not going to come up and take a picture with him. However, in the fishbowl that we operate in the hobby, where it's a smaller space, when you walk into the MGM, right? Where it's the Mint Collective and the entire universe, the very small universe that's there, is the hobby. Tim and that hat is a celebrity. He's someone that everybody knows. He's someone who managed to have the tattoos airbrushed out and make his way onto a Topps baseball card. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this is rarefied air. He probably got more hate over that than anything.
People think that's the crazy part about, like, because Cage, I met you in person. I think I messaged you a little bit before we met at Bleecker. I've always found that, like,
I almost got into a fight in the bathroom over you. Yeah, that was, you know, it's a story for another episode. But yes,
yeah, continue. A little sword fight. But, like, I've always found it
a little on your end.
Yeah, no, I've always found it, like, wild, the extreme, so people think that Jeff Wilson paid for me. Like, the story, I've told the story before on this podcast when it comes out, that how I got on the card. It was actually, I give myself credit for being me, but Corey, I give credit for he suggested I get on the card to someone important. I just find it weird that, like, even if Jeff Wilson did pay for me to get on the card, do you think, like, I'm on a Topps card, but
yeah,
I find it hard that people would rather assume that you didn't work hard and instead of appreciating the story or coming to ask me, Cage. I feel like all three of us, you could pretty much ask us, except for, like, inside business, any question, whether we're in person at Bleecker or online. Yeah, I get in for trouble for that all the time. But I just find it weird that the trolls would rather be trolls, because you can ask me, and I'm fine with telling you the truth, whether it kind of hurts my pride, or, like, I like to be very honest about when I'm struggling. I think that's why Slab Business even started in the first place. Me and Corey wanted to tell real inside stories about, like, what we're going through and things like that. So I just always find it odd, the difference between people of all ages, by the way, wanting us on their podcast, or wanting an autograph, or wanting a picture, to the people that just don't like the fact that other people want that. Like, I've always found that, like, how to navigate those people. All right, we've took his time. Let's do the thing, Corey.
Do the thing. All right. What thing?
It's a fun game. You just got to rapid fire answer. Just answer. Don't think about it. Just answer.
Just answer. Don't think.
Don't think. Just answer. Okay.
No Cage talk. No lawyer talk.
Ready?
Okay. All right. I'll do it.
Red or blue?
Blue.
Panini Topps.
Topps.
Prism or Select?
Prism.
Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Joker or Shaq?
Shaq.
Slab strong, show your slabs.
Slab strong.
Damn it! Come on, dude. He thought about it, though.
No way.
He thought about it.
I was listening to the question. That was fast.
Well, I think Corey, because my linguistics are so clear all the time, and everyone can understand my accent and everything that I'm saying, maybe he just misunderstood you.
No,
so he kind of had to gather,
but he heard. Show your slabs first. It would have been whatever I said first.
You think there's a primacy effect?
Yep.
I like what I was thinking there was Slab Strong is slightly more portable. You know, Slab Strong is something
that's true. I know you hate my product.
I love the product.
And you were like, "Who's this guy with this light up stupid ass thing?" Okay.
Do you remember what I let you do? I hate you. Do you remember what I let you do?
Yeah.
With your fingers.
And you did put a Mickey Mantle 8 in a Slabs game.
No. Explain this.
That's why I said
Explain
it that
this.
way. Because it's for another episode.
Yeah. Do you hear this? Do you hear this hobby elite? What he let me do?
He took my Joe Montana 10, which at the time was over $100,000. It's come down, and he put it in
a PSA and a Jordan 10
and a Jordan 10. And it's like he's suction cupping these things. He put them in his little light up holders. And he's like, don't worry. And then, he's like, I mean, I don't. He's like, I can't get it out.
There's a little extra gel in one of the.
I'm like, dude, is that stuck in there forever?
I was actually trying to steal it. Exactly. I was new to the hobby. I was a little short.
He was taking it. Somehow he gave me back a Montana 9 and a Jordan 8. And I don't know. It was like a magic show your slab.
Yep.
Listen, it is what it is. It's you know. I could take either of you or leave either of you, if we're being honest. You know, Tim, I tried to ask Tim for some Slab Strongs for a giveaway for my first cigar night. I said, hey, we could put him in like a gift bag and the whole deal, and he never came through. So, I mean, you both have negatives.
What do you... Whoa. That's not true.
You both...
No.
I think I asked
That
him
is-
the
no,
day
hold on a
before, so it's not exactly his fault.
Corey, this guy asked me. Corey, remember when Dan did remember when my
They
Hydro
were
Dig
like
guy
red,
did
white,
my
and blue. They
first,
were like really cool looking.
yeah, red, white. Oh, can you do that with our logo?
Do tiger stripes.
Like
Do
their
tiger stripes. I
logo.
can have them by
Like,
tomorrow. I don't know what goes into your process. I just figure you got a bunch of Oompa Loompas
This
in your
is such a
basement making
lawyer
this stuff.
shit, dude.
I don't
I don't
know.
know what goes into your process. I don't know. Like, this is what lawyers do. They charge $4.50 an hour, and we're not supposed to ask
cheap.
about their
I'm
process,
more
but
than
they
that.
don't care about anybody else.
You guys just got an hour out of me. It's way more than $4.50.
Well,
yeah, we gotta cut this off, bro.
I
We're at
know.
106. We're definitely getting
Definitely
it anyways. Oh, real quick though. Okay, I just want to know if this is like a one-word answer. Dude, do you remember us dumbasses in the beginning? Remember when I met you, little hat, but the 9-piece show your slabs that I used to wear on my neck like a fool? Oh, bro,
Listen,
I'm
you
so
never
glad
know
it's a
with
big hat now.
branding. You never know what kind of branding is going to work. I mean, I've walked around Las Vegas wearing a tiger print shirt like I was Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, and with the material that it was, straight nipples, bro. That's why you had to wear the.
you also
I'm
did
with
show
that.
up
Remember that.
the first time I met you in probably 90-degree New York heat in a Brooks Brothers custom suit, which
I
I
was coming
thought
from
was
work.
a little much. Yeah, you could have taken the jacket off.
It's true, but I would be.
I mean, you were still buttoned up, like you were two-piece buttoned down.
Yeah, I mean,
It was-
you take the
it
jacket
was-
off. You know, the pit sweat comes out. You need to cover it up.
Oh, you're a pit sweat
You're
guy?
so far deep into the pit sweat, you just leave the jacket on and cover.
You know I don't
Do you
sweat.
wear, overalls? Or
Only
what
when
are
I'm
they
on the
called?
farm.
Suspenders? Suspenders?
What? Oh, overalls and suspenders are different
I
things.
know.
You know that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I have worn them both at times, usually Halloween costumes, but no, I'm not a suspenders guy. I've worn a cummerbund once, when I wore a tuxedo. What other kind of fun questions?
Do you wear a bow tie?
No.
Not even when you're.
I have worn a bow tie with a tuxedo.
It's a power move.
but not often.
Yeah, it's a power move if you're 10 years old and you're
That's a
walking
clip-on.
across the stage
It's a
to get like
clip-on.
your that turkey.
Yeah,
when you
or
used to
you're
make
the
a
kid in
turkey
the
with the
suit.
palm of your hand.
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
Oh, that kid can. No, listen. I'm just gonna say it. That kid can get over
He
himself.
did, dude.
yeah.
He had to take time away to be a kid. He did. He put a
Get him some packs. Let him open some big
I've
league
never
packs.
grown up.
All right,
Tim.
let me ask you guys one more question.
No, it's over.
You-
Shoot, keep
So-
going. Look, this is a YouTube short we're gonna make here now, Tim.
I was
Smile.
able. My wife, 10 years. Shout out Cassie for putting up with me. for that long.
Congratulations, 10 years. Look at
Shout
that.
out,
10 years.
shout out, Cassie.
So-
I think 10
Shout
years.
out,
That what
Cass.
anniversaries? I think it's plastic. You should make something that has like plastic that you could put like cards in and stuff for her.
Oh, I got. Yeah, no, she's decked out. She's got slab chains, everything.
Yeah, you should
Look
think of
at
something.
So we went on a trip, and I've been having this battle about with Instagram. Would you ever
Oh, you're not gonna win
post
that one.
like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be out of town."
Your
Like,
wife is right.
maybe
Don't
check
say
it.
that, especially with all the cool stuff you have in your house. She's afraid someone's gonna come and break in.
No, that wasn't
She's
her.
smart.
I
She's
was
very
just
smart.
saying, like, for my own, like, I wouldn't do that because I feel like it's like, who cares? Like, nobody cares that I'm like. Not
Wait,
gonna
so
be
you
around.
mean like you're posting? Hey, look at me! I'm Sandra D.
No,
and I'm
not
here
look
the
at
Taj
me.
Mahal.
Like, hey guys, I'm like, because I literally probably for the first time in 2-3 years was trying to completely disconnect from the business. I don't know if you
Hang on a
guys ever
sec.
run into that.
Tim, do me a favor.
It's
Ask
hard.
the question for him.
Yeah, Corey. What's your address?
Don't
Do
say
you
it.
guys ever disconnect from
No.
the hobby completely?
No, can't. Try
So
to, can't.
I will try to in August of this year. I go to Disney World with my family every year. So it's sort of like what you're talking
You were
about.
just
but,
in Aruba. Were you checking?
but even when I was in Aruba, we did an episode every day. You know?
Yes.
So
And that's
no
my
disconnecting
problem.
from the hobby.
Like,
You know? I mean,
Doesn't that drive your wife nuts?
no. No, I mean, listen. I'll go to Disney World, and like it'll
You
be
must
raining.
make a
We'll go,
lot of money.
we'll go back to the hotel. I'll have a balcony. I'll grab a cigar. I'll watch the rain from the balcony, and take my phone out and record an episode. You can see those. They're all over YouTube. Those are the days I'm in Disney World. Sometimes I'll show the rain in Disney. What's funny about it, Handsome, is this is gonna sound real corny, right? Like Field of Dreams corny, but this was what I enjoyed doing as a kid. I've spent over 20 years in the real labor market, working, commuting to work, you know, being a lawyer, I'm still doing that, but I don't view the hobby as something I need to disconnect from, because I have fun no matter what it is that I'm doing in the hobby, whether it's going to a show, whether it's, you know, helping somebody evaluate a trade that they're making, you know, try to source a card, find a card, talking to you guys. I mean, I should probably be doing work, but I don't consider this work. I consider this fun, you know?
Right.
So I don't really need to disconnect from it.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I don't know, Tim, if you feel this way, but
Well, you guys have businesses. You're working, you know? You're,
Yeah.
you're extruding plastics. You're coming up with different epoxies. You know, I mean, that's different than opening packs of cards. This guy gets to open packs and try to pull himself.
he definitely loves.
And showers, right before bed. Sometimes after, mostly before turkey sandwiches,
Sweet.
but sometimes turkey sandwiches.
Yeah,
are
this is a
delicious.
stupid question to ask Tim, because there'll be some times where I call him at like 2:30 and he doesn't answer, and he calls me back and he's like, "Oh, I just got off from a nap." And I'm like, "Okay."
I'm 40.
He's
You
easily
wouldn't
disconnected.
You wouldn't understand. Oh, well, okay. When I'm asleep, I'm
Who
just.
takes naps?
I mean, you don't dream about the hobby?
You take naps?
I don't have time to take naps.
Thank you.
I wish I could take a nap.
Yes.
I sell a protective bumper for a protective case. I can take naps, bro. What are you talking
There's
about?
only
I'm
there's
41.
only one kind of person in the world that takes a nap. One.
Babies.
People who can.
Oh, on that note,
I'm gonna get that tattooed
thank
across
you,
my
Cage
chest.
Lawyer. This won't be the last. Unlike my time on your show, which was first,
Nuts.
last,
Never.
ever.
Nuts.
All right, guys, I'll come back.
No, we
anytime.
definitely want to have
Appreciate
you
it.
on more. And then where can everybody check you out?
The Hobby with Cage. You know, I'm on Instagram. It's The Hobby with Cage, or my own personal is CageLawyer, and it's The Hobby with Cage on YouTube. Episodes Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we got our news, the Hobby News Week, 60 seconds of the news every Tuesday morning. Yep.
All right, real quick though, what about anyone that anything at the National you want to announce? People can come say hi to you, get a picture.
I have no
but,
table.
Or are you not announcing stuff yet?
I'm sure I will have stuff to announce as we get closer. I will be there. If you want to stalk me, I'm at the Hyatt. So you can find me and stalk me there.
Room number.
I don't know my room number yet, but I'll announce it. People can come up and party, you know? Free breakfast.
Free breakfast.
All right, so everybody listening, use code SYS for 10% all legal services from Cage Lawyer,
Yeah.
and code Slabstrong for what, 20%?
20%, definitely.
Buy one divorce, get one
yeah,
free.
no.
Oh,
So
it's amazing.
should be good.
Why would?
We're out.
Yeah.
Slab Business is your one-stop shop for all things epic.